Satoma Sargamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Nityorma Yutam Gamaya Om Shanti Shanti
Hari Om and welcome to Chinmaya Sagar's Deepavali Satsang with Swamiji. He gives me 6 months in advance notice, so make sure that we can have him and fete him. And today with him are Pujya Swamiji's parents who are sitting right in front. So I've just written something really small and sweet. Swamiji has touched our hearts for so many years now. The sun, the moon, the stars, all else in nature, they add beauty, life and energy to this world just by being there. In the same way, our Pujya Swamiji came to our center as a young brahmachari and he started inspiring us. His very presence inspires us to work in a spirit of dedication and devotion to Pujya Gurudev, his vision and mission. Pujya Guruji says the objective of the mission is to motivate people by showing them the vision. Once this vision is properly understood, we need continuous inspiration. And we all know inspiration involves feelings. It is only when there is love, people feel enthusiastic and the motivation to do something. We have been with Pujya Swamiji since the year 2000. He has given us this vision. He continues to inspire us with his tireless efforts. We are truly blessed to be with him. Today we are very lucky to have Pujya Swamiji's parents with us. They are blessed to have a son like Swamiji, who is tirelessly working for Pujya Gurudev. We are happy to have them here with us today. Thank you.
Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanao Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavad Padam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritav Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punaha Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram. Hari Om, salutations to all of you. Thank you Sandhya ji for that simple lovely introduction. How many of you have been here for 25 years? Means in Chinmaya Sagar you have been coming. Otherwise you have been here in Mumbai for 25 years, following all of you almost. So, Shubh Vasubaras to all of you first. Today is the Dwadashi, Vasubaras today. It is also called Govatsa Dwadashi. And tomorrow is Dhanatrayodashi. The Dhanatrayodashi has nothing to do with Dhan. Okay? Dhanatrayodashi is the day when Dhanvantari Bhagwan manifested, and Dhanvantari Bhagwan we have to worship so that we have good health. He is the deity of Ayurveda and health. So we worship him. And what do we do with good health? he comes with a pot of nectar. So the idea is also that we use that good health to realize the truth, to attain immortality. So, Dhanatrayodashi, then we have Naraka Chaturdashi. Naraka Chaturdashi is again Bhagwan killed Narakasura, and then we worship Krishna Bhagwan that day, and we are supposed to do actually Shraddha for Pitrus on the Naraka Chaturdashi morning. And also light lamps. Dhanatrayodashi we light lamp, keep it outside to avoid apamrityu. And then Chaturdashi we light lamps again to invite Lakshmi Devi. And then comes the Amavasya. So this year, when is Deepavali? 20th and 21st. So Lakshmi Pujan has to happen when? Why 20th? Because it's very simple. When there is daytime Chaturdashi and the night when Amavasya is, that is the Deepavali night. So many people are celebrating on 21st. Technically, Amavasya is the night. So Lakshmi Devi has to be worshipped that night. And what is the belief in the scripture? All waters, there is Gangaji, and all the oil is pervaded by Lakshmi Devi. Jale Ganga, and in the tail there will be Lakshmi Devi. So we actually light the lamps made up of oil. And the idea is to worship Lakshmi Devi. And do you know Deepavali day, what are we actually supposed to do? We are supposed to wear white clothes. We are supposed to fast. And then in the night we are supposed to do worship of Mother Lakshmi. And then that night, after we finish worship of Mother Lakshmi, yes, all the lamps are lit and all that, and then one goes around in the city and sees all the grandeur and lamps are lit and have some entertainment and all that. That's the way Deepavali is celebrated, with white clothes. Why white clothes for Deepavali day? Because wealth will stay where there is purity of mind. Literally it will stay and it will bless only where there is purity of mind. By the way, Vishnu Bhagwan also is white in color. People depict him in blue color and all that in the novels and all that you see. But the shloka that we chant before puja begins, the first shloka that we chant is Shuklam Varadharam Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarva Vignopa Shantaye. So Bhagwan Vishnu wears white. He is white in color actually, fair in color in that sense. Again symbolic of purity. So Deepavali is a beautiful festival to celebrate this whole process of realizing the truth, realizing that the self in me is the absolute consciousness. That's the main purpose from Vedantic standpoint. Puranic significances are there for each day. Lakshmi Devi manifested on the Dhantrayodashi day along with Dhanvantari Bhagwan with the nectar and all that. Each day there is one significance, no doubt. But Vedantically there is a beautiful significance of realizing the truth. So we light the lamps. And so I have chosen some 4 verses of the Gita. And the connection is very nice actually. How these 4 verses have been put in the Gita, they are connected to, we can connect it to Deepavali. They are not meant for that purpose, but they can be nicely connected. So you all have studied the Gita. You must have, some of you have heard Gurudev also on the Gita. Can you tell me which chapter has an analogy of a lamp in the Gita? Batao.
It's that flickering lamp where the lamp doesn't flicker with your eyes.
Okay, so that is a great analogy which is given by which chapter?
Six.
Correct. So that is chapter 6. That is one. Any other place it is. Chapter 6 is the lamp without the flame, without a flicker. The steady flame. So we will see that as an analogy, we will see that. But before that, any other chapter? Okay. It is in the Vibhuti Yoga, but is it as the Vibhuti of Bhagwan or something else? नहीं पता. 10th chapter में भगवान says तेषां सतत युक्तानां भजतां प्रीतिपूर्वकं ददामि बुद्धि योगं तं येन माम् उपयान्ति ते. Those who are continuously remembering me, I will bless them, and by which they will come to me. Then the next verse after that he will say तेषाम् एवानुकम्पार्थम् अहम् अज्ञानजं तमः नाशयामि आत्मभावस्थः ज्ञानदीपेन भास्वता. There the proper Jnana-Deepa word is used. In the 6th chapter is only the flame without a flicker, but here is proper Jnana-Deepa. That I, out of great compassion for such devotees, what do? Tesham eva anukampartham. Aham ajnanajam tamaha. There, the ignorance which is there in their mind, nashayami. I destroy that ignorance. How? By lighting the lamp of self-knowledge. Jnana Deepena Bhasvata. So 10th chapter. So remember, at least these two. 6th chapter and 10th chapter. 6th chapter is through the Karma Yoga path, one who has purified the mind and who has come. There he says that the mind of the yogi has become steady. There it is a means, meaning it is the quietude of the mind where the mind can contemplate steadily. So repeat that shloka, and that shloka is shloka number 19. Yatha Deepo Nivatasthaha Ningate Sopama Smrita Yogino Yata Chittasya Yunjato Yogamatmanaha. So here the analogy is of a mind which has become steady. Yatha Deepo Nivatasthaha. That mind is like the flame where there is no wind. So if the flame is there in a spot where there is no wind, obviously air is there in all places, at least here. Up to a point in space, air is there. After that, it is not there. But here it is there everywhere. And it is required for fire, otherwise it will not light. But what does he mean here? That the mind of that person is in a space where the air is not blowing very fast. Nivata. So gentle breeze is only there, or just simple air is there. So the flame is very steady. Just now we lit the lamps outside, so much air. The flame was flickering. But the flame here is the mind of the yogi. Yatha Deepo Nivatastha na ingate, does not flicker. That is the analogy given here. Sopama Smrita. Analogy for what? Yogino Yata Chittasya. Of a yogi who has controlled his mind. And why has he controlled the mind? Yunjato Yogam Atmana. Wants to know the self. Wants to know who am I truly. To that person, for that person this analogy has been given. That the mind is very steady. So what is the symbolism of the wind? Why is the wind there? If the wind is there, what does it symbolize, and wind is not there, what does it symbolize?
So wind is like the senses, like it fluctuates the mind.
Wind is like the senses, no? Something else.
It carries all the smells, whatever is in the air. So whether there's purity, impurity, whatever, it is a nice fragrance or whatever.
So, but how does it, what is the symbolism for the mind?
So in that sense, our mind also gets affected. I mean, the wind affects the flame, the way our mind gets affected by what it perceives.
Okay.
So the Vishayavasanas are not visible, like wind is not visible, but it does affect.
So the Vishaya Vasanas are not visible, and so the wind is like that.
So it just comes in a sway and just takes away everything, whatever one has done.
So the mind of ours is like the flame, and the wind is desires. It can be desire for sense objects, it can be desire for anything, name, fame, pleasure, power, position, any of these. Think about it, before the desire enters the mind is happy. Once the desire enters the mind, then disturbed. And when the desire is fulfilled, again what happens? Again the mind has become quiet. In between, the desires are disturbed. And it is because of this desire only that the mind keeps on swinging one extreme to the other, jumping from one thought to the other. So much of impulsiveness, all that comes because of the mind, because of the desire. When the mind is quiet, the desires are not there, that's the state. The yogi's mind is compared to a flame in a windless spot, saying that the mind has been made very single-pointed and pure. Where there is purity and single-pointedness, there is no fluctuation of the mind. See, even asuras, they do tapasya. Ravan, Kumbhakarna, Vibhishan, all of them, they did tapasya. Bhagwan is pleased with all of them. And all of them got boons also. What boon did Ravan ask? He said, Devtas, Gandharva, Yaksha, Kinnara, nobody should be able to kill me except Nar and Vanar. So Brahmaji said, okay. What boon did Kumbhakarna ask? He didn't ask actually that I have to sleep for so many months. He wanted Indrasan, but he asked for Nidrasan. So then he slept. 6 months he sleeps. And Brahmaji was very happy. Because he was scared if this fellow is awake, how much resources he will consume. And here Brahmaji has to keep creating. So he sleeps, Kumbhakarna, 6 months. Somebody said, मैंने अपने अंदर के रावण को मार दिया, मैंने अपने अंदर के मेघनाद को मार दिया, लेकिन मैंने अपने अंदर के कुंभकर्ण को नहीं मारा. One sleeps anytime, anywhere, anyhow. Boon. Many people have, and some people don't get sleep, no matter what they do. So Kumbhakarna, he also asked, and Vibhishan also asked. What did he ask? May I have more and more devotion for the lotus feet of Bhagwan. Now all the three, they pleased Bhagwan. Tapasya they did, concentration of the mind they did, so Bhagwan came. But what they asked based on what? Is they based on their purity of mind. So in Vedant we always say purity of mind is more important than concentration of the mind. If purity is there, concentration will come. Concentration is there, purity is not necessarily there. Because concentration I can do through willpower, I can do by focusing, by training the brain. Concentration I can attain. And that's why when we say Deepavali, we wear white clothes, is because of that. We value purity. With that you will worship Mother Lakshmi, and that she is the Lakshmi not only because of wealth as money, but she is the real wealth of devotion, of surrender. She always is at the feet of Bhagwan. So our mind also has to be like that. So this first shloka is to tell us that how the mind we train. And these 3 days when we do Dwadashi, then Trayodashi, then Chaturdashi, that's a nice preparation to develop this state of mind. How? So Vasubharas, how will purity of mind come? In the 3 gunas, which is the guna for purity? Is Sattva guna. Rajo guna is attachment, and Tamo guna is dullness, ignorance, laziness, all that. So Vasubharas, cow. Cow is symbolic of purity and Sattva guna. Maximum Sattva cow will have. And yesterday only somebody was telling me that one Swamiji told him they have a lot of cows in the Goshala and all, and they have buffaloes also, and they run a school, and lots of cows are there, so there's a residential school. And the milk requirement is for all the children is met by the cows there. So they have lots of desi cows they have there. So that person was telling me that Swamiji told him that if you want to sleep, you stare at a buffalo and you will start sleeping. And if you want to wake up, you stare at a cow and you will wake up. So cow is connected to Sattva guna. The vibrations of the cow, the attitude, the gentleness, the whole thing. And that's why we also say that so many devatas reside in the cow. So Vasubharas is the day to when we worship the cow, and Bharat is an agricultural country. Even today, so many things. When we go to villages, I've been through the Narmada Parikrama, I have seen so many villages, their household runs because of the cow. There are few cows there, that's it. Everything is running because of those cows. So even today there are lots of people who survive only on that. And there's buffalo and the cow, ox, those who have field, etc., they farm. So much happens because of that. So cow takes minimum, Gurudev always said, cow takes the minimum from society and gives maximum. And cow for us in Vedanta is also symbolic of a very, very important step. And what is that? The cow ruminates, she eats the grass, and then cuds are formed and she retains in the throat, and then when she sits, she again takes it out means brings it back in the mouth and then chews it again. For Vedantic student, that is symbolic of Manan Sadhana. We listen, we sit, and then we have to sit and reflect like the cow. So Vasubharas is that. Very interesting it is. Bharas and cow are connected. Who is the presiding deity of Bharas? Dwadashi. किसी को पता है? She told just now, but apart from her, who is the presiding deity of Dwadashi? Don't know? How come? How many of you do Ekadashi? Ekadashi you do actually for Dwadashi. It's a preparation to worship Bhagwan Vishnu for Dwadashi. Dwadashi is the day for Bhagwan Vishnu. We connect Dwadashi to Vishnu Bhagwan. The mantra of Vishnu Bhagwan also is Dwadashakshara mantra. Which is a Dwadashakshara mantra? Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Dwadashakshara mantra. Chapter 12 of the Gita is Bhakti Yoga. The Adityas are 12. Like that, if you see so many, The number 12 is connected to Bhagwan Vishnu. So this Govatsa Dwadashi is the first preparation. Ki make the mind sattvic, producing more than what we consume and giving more than what we take. Gurudev put that so beautifully in our pledge. If we live by that, our mind will become pure, sattvic. Then comes Naraka Chaturdashi. So Naraka Chaturdashi, what do I do? Trayodashi. Then Trayodashi, then Naraka Chaturdashi. So Trayodashi, what do? We worship Dhanvantari Bhagwan, become strong. Samudra Manthan also has happened that day, and Bhagwan has come finally. So on Trayodashi day, 13 aspects. What are these 13 aspects? 5 senses of knowledge, 5 senses of action, then mind, intellect, ego, memory also one can add. These 13 aspects are our subtle body. These have to be nurtured and nourished well so that we are able to strive for the truth, to realize the truth. Nurture them, feed them, take care of them. Accidental death, one may find it very strange. Why are we praying for accidental death not to happen?
It's a disorder, no? You want things to go in orderly fashion. That should also happen.
Yeah, so accidental death will, in terms of the daily life, it will create a pain. Gurudev went to somebody's house and he autographed, right? He wrote, his son dies, father dies, grandfather dies. Means he wrote in the reverse order. Grandfather dies, father dies, son dies. And so somebody was stunned. Why did Gurudev write like that? Then they found out that in that house, there has been untimely death of many young people. And the elders are seeing the pain that our young ones have died. And that's the autograph Gurudev gave in that house. Is there in every breath a teaching if you read. So one is that untimely death should not happen. But for a seeker, what is the meaning of untimely death in that sense? Human body we don't get so easily. We should accomplish our task of getting immortality before we drop this body. So on Trayodashi we light the lamp to avoid apamrityu. And Trayodashi is the day when Dhanvantari Bhagwan has manifested with the pot of nectar. Till the objective is not complete, Bhagwan, please ensure that my body doesn't drop and I do sadhana to realize the truth. That's the prayer. Otherwise one says, I am untimely death, so I don't want to die. Why? Because khao piyo mauj karo. I want to enjoy. More and more I want to enjoy. That's also a part of evolution only. Finally one will come out of it at some point. So Trayodashi one says that symbolic of strong resolve that I must know the truth before the body drops. Because who knows when the next human body comes. There is no guarantee. Our Shastra does not say once a human, always a human. That some people believe that. Scripture doesn't say. And we have so many examples of people who, Bharat Raja, after he dropped his body, what did he become? If once a human, always a human is true, then he should have become a human only. He became a deer. So the point is, Trayodashi is that day. Let the resolve be strong. I must know the truth. Chaturdashi is drop body identification. Narakasura is literally what? Our ego only. And the identification with the body is the real Naraka. I am this body is the Naraka. That thought that I am the body is the hell. And literally body by itself also is hell only. We don't have to go anywhere else. We think that is there any other Naraka? Is there a Naraka where I will get cooked like a pakoda? 9 months, where were you? We got fried like pakoda only and came. It is not that we were having some jolly good time 9 months in the womb. You should read that Shiva Prada Kshamapana Stotram. In that first shloka only he says that Bhagwan, I am very sorry, I did not remember you whole life. Look at this now, I am struggling in this womb, hanging upside down because of some past karma. Such a stinking place, there is no light, there is no ventilation. Hot, the Jatharagni of the mother is there, Bapre. Garbhavas, who wants to do again? Think about that. So Naraka, that to come back into body itself is Naraka. And do you know how many people have experienced that state of coming back into the body and literally they say it is Naraka? If you see this Raymond Moody's research, near-death experience, he is the one who coined the term near-death experience, NDE. More than 2,000 people he has interviewed who have been declared dead. Then they have come back into the body. And you listen to them. All of them say one thing in common. Whether they have a religious background or not, whether they have done sadhana or not, they all say that when we were out of this body, we were so free, we were so happy. Now we are back into the body, it is a hell. And hamara kya situation hai? Exactly ulta. No, we don't want to drop the body. Arey. Before we realize that we shouldn't, that's a different point. But how much moha for the body? No, Swami, now I am okay, I am ready to drop this body. But only thing, I should not suffer. Natural, that desire is there, I should not have pain. You go quietly. Some people come to that state of vairagya. But again, the realization of the truth may not have happened. So again, what happens? Again, one body one will get into. That is Naraka. So when Narakasura, do you know Narakasura is whose son?
Earth,
Mother Earth. Who is the father?
Vishnu Bhagwan.
How? It is very interesting, Narakasura, if you see. Varaha avatar. Varaha Bhagwan and Prithvi Devi's son is this Narakasura. Each of us is Narakasura that way. There is consciousness with Varaha Bhagwan and Prithvi is this matter. We are born, ego is born out of the combination of whom? Matter and consciousness. Spirit identified wrongly with matter. Gurudev always used to say that. The unholy wedlock of matter and spirit produces the monster called the ego. So this unholy wedlock has happened. Narakasura, we pray to Bhagwan ki bhai, Bhagwan, you please help me out of this Naraka. This body identification is that is a hell. Whatever sadhana I do, if I hold on to the notion I am the body, gone. Means the sadhana has its own impact, no doubt, but I am not free till I get out of this notion that I am the body. I am the body, which includes I am the jiva also. Narakasura you drop, I am not the body, and the next day Amavasya what you drop, I am not the mind. Because no moon that day. Amavasya day is no moon. Mandukya Upanishad calls it Amani Bhav. Amani Bhav means the state beyond mind. No mind on that day. So that night we worship Lakshmi. It's very interesting. Na? We worship Lakshmi Devi at night when the moon is not there. It's not only because of wealth. The real wealth is Atma Jnana. Ki Bhagwan, I have to come to that state of Amani Bhav. Why we have to struggle so much ki bhai, which day it is Amavasya Tithi, just that night only you have to worship. Kyun? Agle din karoge to kya Lakshmi Devi nahi aayegi? So initially, yes, we say all this so that, we identify, we learn to see Panchang, we follow the Tithi and you sit there, and then Purana also says ki Lakshmi Devi will descend on the earth and you drive away Alakshmi and then you worship Lakshmi Devi. All that is brilliant and it has its own impact. But from Vedantic standpoint, the best is Amavasya. What is Amavasya? Freedom. Amavasya literally is free. Absolute freedom, mukti, moksha is Amavasya. And what do people think? Amavasya is inauspicious. Iski Amavasya. And how much they have connected Amavasya to Bhoot, Preta, Pishacha and bad luck and all that.
Now, is the meaning of the word is only
No. I am saying from Vedantic standpoint, the indication is because there is no moon. So, that lamp is lit that time, that lamp is symbolic of the self-realization. First lamp was symbolic of what? This steady mind. Yatha dipo nivatastaha. So if I do all this, Dwadashi I do, cultivate Sattva Guna, Trayodashi I strengthen my resolve, I want to realize the truth. Chaturdashi we try to get out of body identification. So with these three, the mind will become very steady. It will not flicker. Why? Because there is a strong resolve, there is Sattva Guna in the mind, and there is the Trayodashi, Chaturdashi, when we say I am not this body. If I am not this body and if I don't want enjoyments, mind will be very steady. All enjoyment because I want is for my body. So now if that mind has attained that quietude, steadily I contemplate I am not the jiva, I am not this mind, negate. So the Gita in the next shloka says that Yatro paramate chittam niruddham yoga sevaya. One whose mind and senses have been withdrawn. Uparamate chittam. Niruddham. Completely quietened and withdrawn from everything external. Then yatra chaivatmanatmanam pashyannatmani tushyati. That person experiences great bliss of the self, of the Atma. It is not a sense of dullness, blank, zero. No. If I drop identification, I am not the body. If I drop identification, I am not the mind. What will I realize? Yatra chaivatmanatmanam pashyannatmani tushyati. That person rejoices in the self. That is Deepavali. Once that is done, the next day is what? New Year. Now, job of evolution is only complete. Nothing more to be attained. Whole world appears as one divine infinite consciousness, blissful. So the next shloka of the Gita says, Sukham matyantikam yattad buddhi grahya matindriyam. Supreme bliss, indescribable bliss that person experiences. Sukham matyantikam yattad. And do you know one of the names of Deepavali is what? Lots of names Deepavali has. You should start greeting now with that new names. क्या same boring name. हर बार हैप्पी दीपावली उसको भी शॉर्ट कर दिया हैप्पी दिवाली करते रहते सबको. What is happy Diwali? Tell people Shubha Sukha Suktika. If you wish them also, they will not know now. After 5 years, I am telling you, everybody wish this only. You start a trend. This year you decide, I will wish everybody Shubha Sukha Suktika. They'll say, what is that? Then tell. Or you say, Shubha Sukha Ratrika. Ratrika is easier. Yeah. Third, you can say Shubha Kaumudi Mahotsav. ये भी नहीं पता हमको देखो. Kaumudi Mahotsav. Kumuda means earth. And the 5 days is celebrated as Kaumudi Mahotsav. That's the traditional name. Kaumudi Mahotsav. Why? Because earth was freed from this Narakasura, terrible burden. Mother Earth became so happy. Bhagwan Vishnu freed. So, Kaumudi Mahotsav. कितने बोले मैंने नाम बताओ? 3 बोले ना? पहले क्या बोला? शुभ Sap, sup, sap, sap. Shubha Sukha Suptika. Shubha Suptika means happy sleep. Sukha नहीं बोलना, because Sukha there means आत्म तत्व. सुप्तिका बोलोगे तो मतलब स्लीप हो गया. शुभा मतलब auspicious, have auspicious sleep. We are trying to wake up people, not make them sleep. Shubha Sukha Suptika is the first one. Then second one. Shubha Sukha Ratrika. So the night where we worship Mother Lakshmi is called Sukha Ratrika. In this Kritya Tattva there is a nice shloka which comes, Amavasya yada ratrau Deepaavali Chaturdashi Pujaniya tada Lakshmihi Vigneya Sukha Ratrika. So Deepavali night is called Sukha Ratrika. So Sukha Suptika, Shubha Sukha Suptika, Shubha Sukha Ratrika. Tisra Shubha Kaumudi Mahotsav. Fourth, Sukha Yaksharatri. Shubha Yaksharatri. You can tell Yaksharatri also, because it's supposed to be the mainly Kuber is the king of the Yakshas, and so Kuber also is worshipped on the same night where we worship Mother Lakshmi. Kuber also is worshipped, so you call it Yaksharatrika. इस साल के लिए ये 4 बस हैं. इसमें से कोई भी एक अच्छे से याद रख के बोलते जाओ सबको कि हैप्पी शुभ, ये बोलते जाओ. शुभ सुख सुप्तिका, शुभ सुख रात्रिका, शुभ कौमुदी महोत्सव, शुभ यक्षरात्रि. बोलो. Yeah, Sukha, if you say, yeah, because Sukha there represents Atma's bliss, which is Lakshmi Devi.
So Atma Tattva doesn't have to sleep.
No, we are not saying Atma Tattva has to sleep. We are saying that night where you attain this Atma Tattva, that night where you attain this Sukha, which is realization of the self by worship of Lakshmi, may that be Shubh for you. So your worship of Lakshmi, which is Sukha, lead you to that state of Atma.
So why Suptika?
Because we are worshipping at night, where there is no moon, Amavasya night. Suptika word is to understand that it is on Amavasya night, otherwise it can be any night, right?
Supti or Supti?
Suptika. Sushupti we say, Supti. That's Suptika. Kaumudi Mahotsav. Yeah, you can tell whichever you like. Arey, that jhadu is supposed to be to remove all the impurities and negativities. Huh? Mini jhadus they sell. Yeah, you are supposed to. Basically, that only what we discussed. Purity of mind is most important. You drive out all your impurities and all that. And some connection they have, I think, with Lakshmi also.
We do the next day. After Diwali, the next morning we do the puja and then we do the jhadu and we say Lakshmi jao, Lakshmi jao.
That's what. So Alakshmi को निकालने के लिए वो झाड़ू यूज करते हैं. That's some connection of Alakshmi with the झाड़ू. I don't remember now. And then they say you bring. Traditionally, if you again see Puranas, one festival is given to one Varna. And it's not that other Varna should not celebrate the festival. Raksha Bandhan is given to Brahmanas. Because that is the day they will change the Upanayanam, the Janeu. Then Vijayadashmi is for Kshatriyas. They will do Shastra Puja that day. Deepavali is for the Vaishyas. Specifically also because earlier our financial calendar used to start from this time. अब वो सब स्टैंडर्ड हो गया, मार्च टू अप्रैल टू मार्च एंड ऑल दैट. अर्लियर दैट वी शुड स्टार्ट. Yeah, Chopra Pujan, many of them still do today also. And Holi is given to the Shudras. Each one has their specific festival. And not that, again I am saying, not that others can't celebrate. Holi. One is harvest, second is before Holi they will also burn all the many things which are not, matlab whatever is the waste. सब निकाल के one will clean. Yeah, they will burn it out. People do now Holi, what you call that, the Holika Dahan and all that they do, that's a different thing. But otherwise, harvest is one of the main reasons, and then.
They burn for many days, all the way up to, like in Kanpur, for a few days they had those things set up.
The field, the stubble they burn.
No, not stubble.
No.
Chalk पे आपको वो लकड़ी जैसे होलिका के दहन का होता है ना.
हाँ, that they burn.
So that 1 week is there.
Correct.
Swamiji, Hindi, the Brahmins, they come on 2-3 days before Raksha Bandhan and they bring lot of Rakhi. And they Rakhi, then they give it to us. And then we give them the Dakshina. But now it doesn't happen. Hard time our family party to the Swamiji, then it doesn't have any connection with Holika and Prahlad.
See, if you ask me, till today I have not found any scriptural reference of Holika and Prahlad ji. वो स्क्रिप्चुरल रेफरेंस नहीं है, वो लोकोक्ति है, इट्स अ फोकलोर. यू टेल मी, शो में भागवत में है क्या कहीं पे होलिका का दहन? है ही नहीं उसमें. भागवत doesn't have, Vishnu Puran doesn't have. So many, I have been searching for anything because one person asked me when I was on the Narmada Parikrama in 2022. We finished there at Rajghat, we celebrated that day and then we stopped and we came back on March 19th. So one person just asked me, what is the scriptural reference of Holika Dahan? I said, should be there in Bhagavatam. I have not yet studied fully. So he said, no, it is not there in Bhagavatam. Then I went back, when I came back here and I saw, it is not there. In Bhagavatam, there is no mention of Holika at all. Hiranyakashipu did not have a own sister called Holika. Hiranyakashipu, Bhagavatam mentions 3. Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu, they are brothers. To Diti they were born. And Simhika is the sister. And that Simhika is the mother of this Vatapi and Ilvala and all those demons. So, Holika is not mentioned there. So, I have been searching. I don't know if anybody knows, please find out and tell me. Because scriptural reference till today I have not found. It's a folklore, and what is more important is we use that occasion also to glorify Bhagwan and develop qualities like Prahladji. All that is great, no doubt. So again coming back here, this Deepavali, when we worship Mother Lakshmi, that lamp is lit. That lamp is the lamp of self-knowledge. And that's why he says here, Sukham Atyantikam Yattad Buddhigrahyam Atindriyam. This is supreme bliss that one experiences, the yogi experiences. It can be known only by a pure intellect, Buddhigrahyam. Otherwise it's not even Buddhigrahyam. It is the self is beyond grasp of intellect, mind, senses, everything. But it can be realized only by a pure intellect which has been purified through this way. And Atindriyam, it is beyond the grasp of any senses. It is not some pleasure and joy and all that. And which is why in Deepavali, spend at least 10 minutes to sit quietly, turn the attention within, contemplate on the self. Visualize that my nature is infinite consciousness, that lamp. Beautiful analogy is of the lamp. See, why did they give the analogy of a lamp and not of a mountain? Mountain also is very steady. Mountain's name is also called Achal. No? Mountain is called Achala. Why they didn't say, may the mind of the yogi be like the mountain which is steady? Why did they say like the flame which is... So that is one point. The flame flickers, so mind is more volatile like that, and our mind also wanders. So it is flame which flickers. But second meaning is the light. Light. Our mind can have that purified mind will reveal the truth. And only human mind and intellect has that capability. So Deepavali, whether you worship Lakshmi Devi or not, that everybody obviously will worship, but definitely turn your attention within and 10 minutes contemplate minimum, saying ki Aham Brahmasmi, that is the lamp of knowledge. That is the Lakshmi, that is the Atmagyan, that is Amavasya, that is the fulfillment of human life. And so he says here, Sukham Atyantikam Yattad Buddhi Grahyam Atindriyam Vekti Yatra Na Chaivayam Sthitas Chalati Tattvataha. That person who is established in that, then there is no duality for that person, and there is no greater gain than that. Yam labdva chaparam labham manyate nadhikam tataha. There is no greater gain than this, having gained which nothing more remains to be gained. No matter how much wealth I may gain, there will still be somebody wealthier than me. If not now, I may be the richest person in the world and I may die as the richest person in the world also. But what happens? Somebody else will break my record. The other time somebody else will have more money. And I am not taking that money also with me. It will remain here. So, what is that greatest gain? Atmagyan is the greatest gain. Yam labdva chaparam labham manyate nadhikam tataha. Why? Because there is nothing greater than infinity. And the best part is that is our nature. I don't even have to acquire infinity. What do I have to only do? Recognize. That's all. What will the lamp do? Lamp will bring you bring the lamp in any place where there is darkness, it will reveal what is there already. Does the lamp create anything there? No. It will reveal, oh, this is what it is. That lamp which is a pure, quiet mind, contemplative mind, it will reveal, Arey, your nature is Atma. Done. Job is finished. Yam labdva chaparam labham manyate nadhikam tata. There is no greater gain than this. Yasmin sthito na dukhe na guruna api vichalyate. No sorrow can ever disturb that person after that. Heaviest of sorrows, this person is not shaken. That is the real achievement of human life. And so these are 4 verses in one sequence, and beautifully they connect to Deepavali days. That when we realize the self, then what happens? Absolute bliss. That is New Year. And after New Year, the next day is what? Bhai Dooj. Bhai Dooj, what do we do on that day? It's very interesting. People remember what? Brothers will go to sister's house, sister will invite them, then they will eat food and then they will exchange gifts. Very good. But do you know they are supposed to remember the Chiranjeevis? The brother has to remember the Chiranjeevi, the sister has to remember Yamaraj. And who are these Chiranjeevis? How many Chiranjeevis are there? Batao. 8 Chiranjeevis are there. नाम बताओ 8 चिरंजीवी के. हनुमान जी, अश्वत्थामा, विभीषण, व्यास, कृपाचार्य, परशुराम. 2 बचे और अश्वत्थामा हो गया. 2 बचे. I'll give you a clue. Their name starts with M and B. मेघनाथ कहाँ भाई साहब, भगवान बचाए हमें. बलि राजा. एक और M. ये तो बहुत फेमस है. कम ऑन, यू डोंट नो? M से जो माँ चिरंजीवी है वो नाम नहीं पता आपको. कमाल. ही इज वेरी यंगेस्ट ऑफ ऑल. मार्कंडेय. वाह, look at that. 8 Chiranjeevis. Markandeya, Bali, Vyasa, Vibhishan, Hanuman, Ashwathama, Kripacharya and Parshuram. हो गए 8. 8 Chiranjeevis you remember on that day. Meaning live like a Chiranjeevi. Look at each of them, except 1 or 2 of them. Most of them have lived, their life has been so glorious. So the point is what? These 4 verses, beautiful verses, connecting from the Gita to this festival of the Deepavali, and maybe attain Brahma Gyan, and maybe live happily like Jivan Muktas, attaining highest, nothing more to gain after that, no, nothing can disturb the mind after that, life is fulfilled. Then Deepavali has happened. So may Bhagwan's grace be with us to lead us to this state. Bolo Sadgurunath Maharaj ki Jai.
Swamiji, what is the name? 4 names of Deepavali is written in which Granth?
They are all in different books. From all different books we have removed.
Swamiji, there is some connection between Yamunaji and Yam, though they are brothers.
Are Yamunaji and Yamaraj are sisters and brothers.
But like, especially on Bhavdut, it's the
Are the story is very simple, no? So Yamunaji goes on calling Yamaraj to come to her house for food. But Yamaraj is very busy and he is going on taking lives of people, and he has to do Dharmaraj, and he is, to do the dispensing of justice and all that. So one day Yamunaji thinks, Yamaraj thinks, nobody calls me. Nobody wants Yamana. Yamaraj comes in, people run. Nobody calls me. अरे बैठ जाओ ना भाई. Nobody is calling me, and so Yamunaji is at least calling me. She is my sister and she has been calling me from so many days. So let me go. So he goes to her house and she feeds him so nicely and he is so happy. And he says, I am very pleased with you. Ask what you want. So Yamunaji asks, on this day, any brother goes to the house of the sister and has the food she has prepared lovingly, then they both brother and sister should not have fear of you. So become fearless. So Yamunaji, when she asks this, Yamaraj says, okay, I grant that boon. So it is supposed to happen on that tithi only. अब कौन सा संडे क्लोज है, पहले बाद में, तो फिर ये सब बोल नहीं मिलेगा. उसी तिथि को होगा वो. It is conditional at that time. In those tithi time only it will happen. But people don't know any of this. You are supposed to chant 14 names of Yamaraj also. Yeah. And if you can take bath in Yamuna that day, so great. Yeah, but if you can't do, at least remember Yamunaji and Yamaraj both before eating food. Remember the Chiranjeevis. One is actually supposed to worship the Chiranjeevis, take their names and pray to them for the well-being of each other. So Yamunaji will remember for the fearlessness of the brother, ki may the brother not have fear of death and all that. And the brother will remember all the Chiranjeevis, ki may my sister be like that Chiranjeevi. अब ये सब तो कौन का करता ही नहीं. People start thinking, अरे पता ही नहीं तो अब खोल के देख सकते हैं ना बुक. तो आज तो है ना, lots of books are available where people, they have explained the significances. Huh? Yeah, Google also one can find. So anyway, have a great Deepavali. Shubha, Sukha, Suktika to all of you. हाँ, थैंक यू. उन्होंने ये पकड़ लिया, कौमरी महोत्सव. बढ़िया. That's just like that. That Gangaji you can always pray before any puja, but people generally will say, because the traders, they will start the new financial year. So the new year also may have more prosperity, and any obstacles to that may he remove, like that. Otherwise, Gangaji and Lakshmiji, they have no connection that way, in that sense.
Swamiji, why do we also pray to the Ram Bhagwan?
Because Ramji came back on that day is what the belief pattern is, and then people celebrate. So we on Deepavali night is when people worship because Bhagwan came back and the lamps were lit in his honor and all that. No.
That is also, it's a correct reason.
So if you ask me, it is definitely that Bhagwan came back and Ayodhya Vasi celebrated. But he came back on this date is not written in Valmiki. If it is written in some other Ramayana, I am not aware yet. But Tulsi Ramayana, Valmiki Ramayana, both I have read. In that there is no mention of Deepavali as a festival connected to Ramji's return. And that way even the Vijayadashmi is, from Ramayana standpoint, it is not that on that day Bhagwan killed Ravan. Vijayadashmi is connected to Devi killing Mahishasur. Yeah, mainly that. Ravan was not, see, at least in Valmiki and Tulsi there is no such mention. And हम लोगों ने तो क्या क्या बना दिया उसके बाद में कि भाई विजयादशमी को रावण मरा, उसके बाद 21 दिन गूगल मैप का पिक्चर भी दिखाते हैं लोग आजकल, 21 दिन लगते हैं या जो भी डेट लगते हैं कि यहाँ से रामेश्वरम से भगवान चले और अयोध्या तक पहुंचे और वो इस दिन पे पहुंचे दीपावली को, इसीलिए इट इज सो साइंटिफिक. अरे भाई साहब, भगवान तो पुष्पक विमान में उड़ के गए थे. तुम कहाँ गूगल मैप बना के पूरा दिखा रहे हो उधर? तोड़ मरोड़ के कुछ भी कैसे भी फिट करना है उसको. देखो ये सब फोकलोर में आता होगा, किसी और वर्षन के रामायण में हो सकता है, मुझे नहीं पता. बट भगवान केम बैक ऑन अमावस्या इज नॉट रिटन. In Valmiki and Tulsi it is not written. People are celebrating that they have written कि भाई homes are decorated, people are rejoicing, dancing and they have lit lamps in their homes. वो सब लिखा है उन्होंने. But ये तिथि को आए वो नहीं लिखा है. I mean, this is not to say कि what is being celebrated is wrong. Nothing wrong. You are worshipping Bhagwan only and he's coming, his homecoming is what we are celebrating. So that's no problem at all. But we should know, because sometimes when somebody asks, then we say, हाँ है रामायण में, then it is not there. So we should be aware.
Then Deepavali Puja, when normally, whatever is trend done, it's Lakshmiji, Saraswati and Ganesh all together.
Worship all the three, because we need all the three in life. See, that's why I'm saying people have adapted certain things, let them adapt, no problem. ऐसा नहीं है कि सरस्वती को हम नहीं रखना चाहिए. If I am doing even business, I need knowledge, right? So much of creative thinking goes behind understanding what are the future trends, coming up with some new product, doing some new idea, manifesting it. So you require knowledge, you require resources, and you require that strength to overcome any obstacle. So one is worshipping Ganesh ji, Lakshmi, Saraswati, fine. Worship.
So these 4 verses you said.
Yeah, the 6th chapter. 6th chapter. I told from 6th chapter, Baba. 10th chapter we did discuss that verse, but the 4 verses that I said, they are from 6th chapter, 19, 20, 21, 22. Yeah. Yatha Deepo Nivatastha is 19. Continuous 4 verses. Nicely you can link it to Deepavali. Alright, so for today we will stop the satsang here and we do the arati.
That